So it is in a definite need of rebuild. I'm hoping that by getting some thicker webbed channel, that'll be a little bit stiffer. If I do this and it doesn't work and it ends up bending again, then I'll go through where I put a 1/4-inch walled 2x4 on the top here and weld that on, and that'll get me the strength that I need, I think. I pulled off this bolt so I could go and get replacements. And right now what I'm going to do is pull all the bolts off, drop all the tines, and see about removing this to see if I need to, whether I need to weld the piece onto here, because it's got a hub in the center. As you can see, it's a piece of steel tubing that I'm assuming just kind of sits in here to give it a little bit of strength, a little more strength. And I think I'll end up buying a piece of tube, having them cut it down, and welding it on. The only welder I have is on the side of the little shed over there, or at least the only receptacle. I don't have power in the shop as of yet, but this needs to get done so I can fix the roads. We just had that good rain or snowstorm, so I was scraping snow off the side, but it was really screwing the road up more than fixing the problem. So I will get going on this. There it is without the tines and the clamps on there. But an interesting dilemma has arisen, and that's the fact that, I don't know if you can see that, it's just not bolted on. I thought for sure this piece would be bolted up through there, but it's not. It's welded together as one piece. So what I'm going to end up having to do is chop it off and then grind it down and then weld the new bar onto the bottom of that. Yep. Interesting. I guess that saves them in their stuff. They just make it as this piece, and that piece gets welded together with a small plate. All right, so I got some cutting to do. I'll get back. All right, so I got the cutting torches out. I think that'll be the easiest way. The only issue is I'm almost out of acetylene. Hopefully I have enough to finish the job. We'll see what we can do. Try lopping it off and see if it works for us. Woohoo! If you haven't noticed, I say woohoo a lot. So that's out of there. Torched that hole out. It really took a bit too much work. I couldn't get enough acetylene because my acetylene pressure was too low. So it just took a lot longer and it made it a lot uglier than it needed to be. So next I'll have to get in here with the grinder and grind all that somewhat flat. This can go into the scrap metal pile. And then I'll have to grind that somewhat relatively flat and cleaned up to where I could get that other piece to weld on the bottom of that. So there we are so far. I do have the replacement piece. I'll have to drill all the holes in that. And I didn't say it earlier, but the new piece is going to be 8 feet wide, so that way I can get out beyond the tires. So I could scrape a little bit farther out to clear the tires, so over the ditch or whatever, I'll be able to do that. So at this point, think what I'll end up doing is unhooking the upper link, flipping it back so I can really get in there and grind some, and then get some of that slag cleaned up, because that slag will definitely make it harder to weld. So either I make it work at this point or I just ruined it more. All right, it probably would have been easier to pull it off and set it on the ground. At least I would have had leverage in my favor. I ended up putting this tie down on it to pull it back against me, and I could lean on the tie down and use it for leverage. So that way it wasn't just moving away as I pushed on it. So I could actually get some force against it as opposed to just gravity. So that's it. Let me pull you over here and you can see what that looks like. So it's ground flat and smooth. You know, this part's pretty rough, but it's a cut. It should work. I got most of the slag stuff out, so that way I can get a good clean weld. The hardest part, like I said, is going to be welding it, because I only have one outlet over on the side of the little shed. So I'll end up having to wheel this over there and pull my welder out to over there.